Our first speaker tonight is somebody that I know well. It's a colleague of mine in the Employability Service based in Manchester, the careers manager there. So it's great pleasure for me to introduce now Catherine Morgan. She will be discussing how to start off your career in the right way, making the right decisions, and some top tips for finding the right firm. So a very warm welcome to Catherine.
Hello, my name's Catherine Morgan. I'm the Career Centre Manager for the University of Law's Manchester campus. I've been asked to talk to you today about how you can go about finding the right law firm for you. I'm going to give you some advice about how to identify the right type of law firm, and then also give you some ideas as to how you can tailor your applications to that firm, helping you stand out from the crowd. It's really important that you do try and identify what type of law firm it is that you would like to work for. It's important that you understand not only the areas of law that you might want to qualify into, but also whether you see yourself at a large national, international law firm, or if a smaller high street general practice law firm might be a better fit for you. Different firms recruit in different ways, and they will be looking for you to sell yourself in a different way. Each firm will want you to express different values, different skill sets, and different passions. So you need to make sure you have done your homework, you've done your research before you start applying to law firms. It's also important to understand that in law you can become a specialist very quickly. And once you're a specialist, it can be difficult to leap from one specialism to another. So again, to try and work out and find out what area it is you are most passionate about, to then be able to make sure that you're given the opportunities to work in those areas, to gain experience during your training contract, to then understand where you want to qualify into and what your specialism will be, so you're on the right track then for the rest of your career. The big thing I can say, the most important thing I'll say to you throughout this whole session is that you need to do your research. It can be via firms' websites, it can be via the legal press, it could be using online platforms such as Legal Cheek's Most List. But best of all, the best research you can do is by actually interacting directly with the firms. I do appreciate that direct experience with law firms has become more limited due to the pandemic and the situation in lockdown, but law firms have actually embraced virtual experiences. Many have offered virtual open days, law fairs, and even virtual vacation schemes as a way to get to know the firms. Students need to embrace all of these virtual opportunities. In some instances, firms have been able to open up these online opportunities to greater numbers of students. So in some ways, the move onto a virtual platform has actually benefited those students who are perhaps geographically far away from the marketplace, the legal market that they want to be part of. And also, in fact, firms that may have restricted the numbers that could go to their open days have been able to open that up to a wider number. So you're able to get that insight, to have that interaction with those law firms that actually you may not have had previously. The online platform really does allow you to engage with more law firms to get a better understanding of who is out there, how they recruit, and what's important to those firms, so that you can then sell yourself back to them in the right way when you're doing your applications. In order to help you understand and identify your dream firm, and also to convince the firm that they are your dream firm, you need to do your homework. Work out what makes that firm tick. What are the firm's values? What skills does that firm prioritize? Then work out when and where you have demonstrated those values and skills, and reflect them back to the firm in your application. The experience doesn't have to be in a legal setting. In fact, often non-legal experience can be more memorable. And the important thing when you're doing applications is you want to stand out in a good way. You want to make sure that you actually are the one that they're going to remember. And as I say, I mean, I know I've spoken to recruiting partners in the past, and they've often told me actually the first thing they will go to look at is the non-legal experience that applicants have had, because that is what will differentiate them. That often is the most interesting thing that's on a student's application, is that non-legal experience. So don't underestimate that, but make sure that what you are doing with that non-legal experience is extrapolating from it the skills and values and experiences that are going to be relevant to the law firm that you are applying to. You're trying to demonstrate that synergy between your experience and values and those of the firm, showing that you are going to be the perfect fit for that firm. The most important thing you need to do is to emphasize your passion for working in the areas of law or with the types of clients that the firm represents. Don't be frightened of hyperbole. Although make sure that you can obviously back it up. I mean, don't lie, you never want to do that. But actually, what firms are looking for are that you are really passionate about going to work for them, that you really do want to work with their clients, that you really do want to do the areas of law that they specialise in. Cast off your British inhibition and emphasise how working in the firm's departments and with the firm's clients will give you that ideal start to your career. It might be helpful if you perhaps, if I sort of share my own experience with you. I was actually really lucky. When I did my training contract, it was with a full service law firm. So I actually had an opportunity to have exposure to both private clients and also commercial work. And it didn't take me long to work out that it was actually the commercial environment that I really thrived in and that I really enjoyed. So that meant when it came to qualification, what I did know was that I wanted to go and work for a national law firm and that I wanted to specialise in commercial law. I actually had equally enjoyed real estate and commercial litigation. So I was applying for roles in both of those areas and with national law firms in both those areas. I'd got down to sort of the final interview for two law firms, one in commercial litigation, one with commercial real estate. But it was actually the meeting the real estate team at Waitman's that really resonated with me. And I actually jumped at the chance to work with them. And I think that shows that actually, whilst I'm talking to you about how you can plan, how you absolutely need to do your research, how you need to find out what you like, sometimes there is an element of chance in terms of where your career might develop. And actually, the people you work with can be just as important as the work that you do. And it really was that feel I got from the firm. It was the people I'd met. It was the values that they talked about. That was as important to me as the area of law I was going into. Now, as I said, I'd had the opportunity to experience various areas of law, to work out that it was commercial I was more interested in, to narrow down my field of choice so I was aiming at the right sorts of firms. And as I say, that's the most important thing you can do. Speaking to lawyers, a lot of law firms at the moment are actually, offering those online opportunities, the opportunity to meet people virtually, to network online, go on LinkedIn, to absolutely raise your profile that way with law firms and to just interact with lawyers. That can be incredibly helpful when you're doing your applications as well. And that's really important again, actually. It is vital if you're making a successful application to a law firm to demonstrate that you have a full understanding of the law firm that you're applying to. Sprinkling in facts and figures and details throughout your application can really show that you do know the firm. Although you do need to be careful with that, beware of making the details the focus of your application. You're not just going to be telling the law firm facts and figures they already know about themselves. You need to personalize it. So you need to make them aware, why do those facts and figures resonate with you? Why are they important to you? Why do they make you want to apply to the law firm? So it's important to do your homework. It's important to have those details, sprinkle them through your application, but they're not the main focus. It's it's the added extra. It's going to elevate your application, but they shouldn't be all that your application is about. Make your application personal. That's the best thing that you absolutely can do. Is to ensure that your focus should remain on you and your motives, which are illustrated by the details about the firm. To leave you with perhaps some top tips then as to what you need to be doing to help you find that right firm. As I said at the very beginning, the most important thing you can do is to do your research, utilizing all those online resources, but best of all by trying to interact directly with the firms. And then also the big thing I want to leave you with is if you're unsuccessful with one law firm, try again. You know, each year you apply, you are going to be a totally different candidate. Have confidence that you will secure the right position with the right firm. Thank you.
Many thanks indeed to Catherine for that very insightful account, which hopefully has given people a lot of food for thought, a lot of reminders of certain things, but also, particularly with the personal anecdotes, some really useful awareness of the complexities, but also the way in which you can cut through those. Catherine said quite early on, if I say anything else that's more important than this, it's that needing to do your research. She reminded you at the end the need to do your research. Just taking that one step further, you have to go beyond the website. That's such a superficial version of what goes on. Of course, the website says how wonderful the place is, in the same way that your CV extols all your positive virtues. So you need to go deeper than that. And a point that's worth making in 2021 is that lots of law firms have changed, maybe only subtly in some cases, but much more dramatically in others. As one partner put it to me the other day, we've taken public money, we've furloughed staff, we've deferred payments, we've received grants. We have to be looking back out into our community and seeing how we can return some of that support that we've had and be a more sympathetic and positive employer in terms of engagement with our community. Therefore, they now need to employ people who extol those virtues, perhaps a slightly different person to the one they might have looked for 12, 24, or 36 months earlier.